Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. It's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast, and I want to invite you to join us in the conversation 5 days a week. Enjoy the community, connect with the community, and start conversations with the community. You know, kindness is cool, smiles are free. I always share that because it's important for us to understand that we have the opportunity to make those connections here and also meet new people like Rob Thomas. Rob Thomas has been active in networking. If he has a book out, he has an organization, and we're going to be talking a little bit about networking and all of the details around networking and some of the tips that you can use to improve your connections in your community. So welcome, Rob. How are you today?
I'm to do fine. I'm to do just great. Yeah, no.
Now you're super fine.
Good morning to you. Well, I mean, it's what, 7 a.m. your time? God bless you. So,
yeah.
You know, I'm. It's an honor to be here. So, thank you, my friend.
Appreciate it. And recently, I was invited to your group. Talking about networking and meeting some people. And I know that you run an organization and networking in diners. Mm-hmm. And it really fascinated me because I've been networking for years. I've built networks. I've had different activities, and a lot of people fail to really understand the nuances and the details about networking. And it's, like we were talking earlier, it's pretty simple. And I think a lot of people get anxious and, they think, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can go to meetings. I don't know if I can meet new people. And you make it so seamless and so easy. And in fact, you wrote a book about it. So talk about the book and how that comes about and some of the philosophies in the book about networking.
So terrific. Thank you very much. The book is entitled, Who Do You Need to Meet? When I worked at the New Haven Chamber of Commerce years ago, I was a business development executive, signing up new members and taking care of existing ones and sponsorships and things. And when I would sign up a new member, I came up with this. This wasn't something that was told or taught to me. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, so thank you very much for participating. Who is it you need to meet now? And they would tell us the three people we don't know. Anyone, everyone, or someone who would buy my stuff, right? And so I'm like, okay, so that doesn't work. That does not work. I need you to be a little bit more specific. And they would struggle with that even, and they would go into the verticals of, accountants and attorneys and this type of thing. And I said, well, tell me about your last 10 invoices. Tell me about your last 10 jobs that you've billed out and where they were and how much they were and for who they were. So I can get a direction on how to help you with that. And then throughout all of that culminated what I call the Rob Thomas method, which is a simplistic way to identify, refine, maximize, and really nurture your network. Because people, whether you own your own business or you are in a business to sell, they're always told by managers or colleagues, here's some business cards, go. Just go out and network.
Yeah.
Go to a cocktail party and just do it.
Anywhere you can reach.
Well, right? And it's like, throw it against the wall and see if it'll stick. No, it doesn't. So they always end up showing up and throwing up all over people. Like, here's my card. Here's my card. No. Yeah. Nobody wants that. I didn't ask you for your card. Uh-huh. Let me do it when I ask you for your card. And so that's been the biggest challenge. Because networking, they're like, it's a component of sales. You have your cold calling and your warm calling and all this kind of jazz. Uh-huh. But no, just relax, ask them good questions first and have a conversation. They might not like you. And they're not going to tell you that. So you need to ask good questions to find out whether any kind of chemistry is going to exist at all.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because, especially right now, there's a lot of people, testing the entrepreneurial waters, and, they have a skill. They may be, currently not employed with a regular employer, and they're going out there and they're stretching their boundaries. And I think this is great information to know, because you have to be very focused in who you're looking for. Otherwise, if you're searching for everyone, you're going to find no one. And it's really important for us to understand that the more focused you become, the more successful you are at finding those individuals.
Yep.
And it seems counterproductive. It seems counterintuitive, and it's really not, because, and I want to dig into this a little bit, Rob, because one of the challenges I find is the narrowing down enough. And I like the analogy you used. Give me the last 10 invoices.
Right.
Sometimes, especially when people are in transition, they don't have the last 10, or the last 10 invoices they've received may not be the next 10 invoices they want to chase. Right. So we have to kind of go through this process, and networking in diners, I think, allows people to think outside the box and really create with the Rob Thomas system, a new kind of philosophy in how they thinking through this process. What's the thought process I need to approach with my business? How do I need to break it down in order to accomplish my goals? So talk a little bit about how someone might approach that next step of, like, okay, let me sit down and really think about how to identify my next 10 connections, or a list of my hot 100, or whatever it happens to be, and talk about that philosophy as it relates to what your experience has been.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I had to do was to figure out how good my network really was, be it either I to them or them to me. I had to figure that out. I had to cull down, let's say, a list of 1,000 contacts, and I used LinkedIn as a guide. So from that, I would cull them down to 100, and 100 down to 50, and 50 down to 20. And it was that last 20 to 10, because I love David Letterman years ago. So I'm all about top 10 lists. I just
top 10 list.
Top 10 lists. It's easy it's just bite size, and it's just easy. Top 10. So who are your top 10?
Yeah.
The contacts, your go-to contacts that you have. Well, what are you talking about? Like, how do I get that? Well, so there's a way to rate those contacts, and we don't need a scale of 1 to 10. It's a 1 to 4. Yeah. And so to be able to scale that and prioritize those different humans that have been good to us, or we've been good to them professionally, because I'm a firm believer that if you've got family and friends in LinkedIn and you haven't discussed business with them, swipe them out. They don't deserve to be in LinkedIn. And it's okay. Just send them to another piece of social, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's fine.
Yeah.
But when I give talks and I talk about that, people think it's tantamount to killing the human. They think I'm killing them out of LinkedIn. I'm like, no, it's just another aspect.
Yeah.
So if people can get really focused about that. Now, for networking in diners, a structured networking group on a business to business aspect, you've got to be fluent enough, not the pitch, but you've got to be fluent to be able to say who you are, what you do. Who is it that would be an ideal client for you? Who would pay you for what you do? Who would pay you? Who are those different verticals that don't sell to you and you don't sell to them? Who's calling you? Who's emailing you and saying, I need you to talk to my client about this, because they just don't get it.
Yeah.
And then finally coming up with who's it you need to meet. Now, I didn't say who do you want to meet. I want to meet, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
But I need to meet, the head of Amazon Web Services, Andrew Jassy. I need to meet Andrew. I don't necessarily need to meet Jeff, but I would want to. So that's where I got that. and people need to be focused. And I needed to do it. It isn't like I just kind of like, oh, you need to do this and that. No, I had to do it to figure it out.
And the beauty of that, Rob, is that when you do it, it's almost that you eliminate 80% of the noise in your world because you have a very clear focus. And I want people in the the pirate community to really hear this, because it's important to understand. And I've struggled with it over the years, and I know so many other business owners have struggled with it over the years. It's like, who is it that I want to do business with? Who is it that I want to approach my business with? And sometimes imposter syndrome kicks in and you're thinking, well, I'm not ready for that. And it's like, Richard Branson always said, if you have an opportunity show up in your lap, take it and figure out how to get it done. There's a lot of truth in that. And also you want to make sure that you're providing the best value possible. Mm-hmm. So it's this combination of and balance. And I think boiling it down, or, kind of trimming down the list and focusing in on, that top 20, and just start having a conversation with that top 10 or top 20 or top 100, and just engaging, because LinkedIn is such a valuable tool for engaging with individuals, reaching out, making comments, having a conversation online is much easier. And what I've discovered along the way, it's not as difficult as some people make it to have a conversation with some people. So is that your experience, Rob?
Yeah. So the kicker about all of this, no, all good points, but so the kicker about all of this is most of us always want to show up and throw up. Okay. And that's considered sales in their world, right? Mm-hmm. And then creating relationships wants to go in reverse. And I needed to learn this. And I needed to ask good questions of my contacts first before I could tell them anything that was happening with me. Mm-hmm. That exercise reveals something I call the organic switch. Because organically, my contact then, in the middle of those questions, will say, okay, stop. Stop. Tell me, I appreciate you asking me about me. Respect.
Yeah.
Tell me now about you. Where are you in the process? Are you in transition? Are you not? Are you launching a new business? Are you not? Where are you? Well, now, wait a minute. Organically, they said deep inside to themselves, I like Russ. I like Rob. I like him. So I want to now ask him more questions. They're not obligated. Yeah. We're not forcing them to connect with us. So the kicker about that is, well, they want to find out more about us. That bumps them up the scale automatically and organically. I'm not forcing you to do that. Now, the bad news is we're going to kiss a lot of frogs, because we think these people are just, we got to have them. We got to have them in our network. I can't let them go. I got to have them. No, actually you don't, because you can get into a conversation and they will talk your ear off for about an hour and they're done. Mm-hmm. That's been the real poignant aspect of where networking has taken me. And I teach the how about how to go get that, how to do that, which I never, there was no manual. I mean, sure, there's sales stuff out there in Zig Ziglar, but no, there's just, in my opinion, it wasn't making sense.
Well, and we could spend a lot of time in conversation, and ultimately, building relationships, I think is valuable, because if you stay top of mind in your network, and this is my philosophy in a lot of ways, is if you stay top of mind and you're visible and people know what you do and who you help and how you help them, right. References, referrals, people say, hey, talk to Russ or talk to Rob. He could probably introduce you to somebody that you need to know. And it's valuable. It's just, it's an added value that you can bring to the table. It doesn't always bring direct business to you or myself.
Right.
It does, though, bring the relationship to the community. And I think being visible in that respect is important. So, and you have to kind of separate it, because there's a lot of people that will want your time, and they want to be able to use or know something or meet somebody, and they're making withdrawals instead of deposits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And so there's a lot of those folks out there, and they just kind of don't know. And
Yeah.
so when we get down to good questions and ask them stuff about them, then we kind of really find out the poignant pieces about their background and who is it they're really trying to get to know and connect with. Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to bring a couple of the community members here and some of the pirates that are in here. Wendy's in the room. She says, "Good morning, pirates." Hyatt Ives, he's going to be a future pirate. He's out over in Houston, so he's a great connection to have. Olivia, always wonderful to have you in the room. Hi, morning, Russ and Rob, watching from Jacksonville. Thank you so much for being here. Donnie Ray, good afternoon from Germany. Thank you, Donnie, for being here. Russ, I completely agree. Networking and connection are the key. Russ, I appreciate you, and thank you so much for being here. Who do you need to meet? Absolutely. Let's actually bring that into the room. So you can reach Rob at robthomasusa.com. All of the connection, links, his book, all of his information is right there. So if you need to meet Rob Thomas, you can go there right now or after the show. Just wait. We got more to come. Don't run away. So thank you so much. Olivia is saying, join in. Nancy Gaskins, let's connect, partner, and profit. Debbie with a Y, McKinney. Tanae, I'm not going to try to butcher her name. Karen, Kathy, Bruce, thank you so much, Olivia. I really appreciate the shout outs. Rob Thomas USA. Rob Thomas book, Who Do You Need to Meet?
Wow, she is a good pirate, huh?
She's a great pirate. This is the kind of community that everybody would really love to have. It's really engagement. Engagement is awesome on LinkedIn, especially with the Pirate Broadcast. I've been able to reach out to many people featured on the live, meet, and other people who are commenting too. And this is on a podcast as well. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel or the podcast or, russjohns.com, go there and you can meet all of the information there. Meet and Greet Monday is fantastic for networking here too. Fantastic. When we hear about a need, we mentally check out contact lists for a referral. Check our contact list for referral. Yeah. Sherry Lawley, she's awesome at doing networking and reaching out. So I just want to, and I want to highlight this, Rob, as an example of how much value the community can bring to each other. You have a networking group. Talk a little bit about your networking group and how it operates and who it's for and who might be interested in maybe getting involved in this.
No, that's important. Yeah, no, thank you very much. Years ago, I had to figure out as a salesperson how I was going to get the decision makers out of their office. Because 70s and 80s sales stuff would always teach us that we have to go meet the decision makers in their office. See the picture of Johnny and the baseball bat and the glove and all this, where you traveled for vacation. But with the onset of not only social media, Big Brother watching, and all of our electronics, it's made in-office stuff, and now, especially now, almost impossible to have a focused conversation.
Yeah.
So I get people out of their office. Well, if you take them out to eat a lot and you go to 5-star restaurants, it gets a little expensive. So up here in the Northeast, we've got diners. So I meet people in diners because who doesn't like a bottomless cup of coffee? Who doesn't like pancakes or grilled cheese at 3:30 in the afternoon, you know? And it allows us to see our people on the same level. We're equal. We're not seeing, and they'll let your hair down, except for you and I. People will let their hair down. Yeah.
It's a style.
And they'll tell us stuff in diners that we didn't know. Now, before the pandemic, it was all locally at local diners here. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But since the pandemic, I've obviously taken things virtual. So now my group is almost entirely, it really is virtual. We have a Visitors Day coming up this Wednesday. Check out my website or social for that. The organization of networking and diners is fairly straightforward. It involves a membership fee on a monthly basis for 3 different types of meetings.
Mm-hmm.
One is a structured meeting I call Coffee and Connections. The second is a food for thought meeting, which is a speaker series meeting. And then finally, I have casual conversations, which is like a happy hour, which you attended. I believe it was a couple weeks ago.
Highly recommended, by the way.
Yeah, it was just fun, right?
Yeah.
So although I'm in jacket and collared shirt here, we just kind of relax. Because all those 3 different ways are ways that we identify on how we network to ourselves. We may not like the structure. So I want to sit back and watch a speaker, but there are other people there. Let's get on the chat. We'll make a connection. I've now since taken that, since June anyway, nationwide, virtual nationwide. So I've got people from Colorado and Florida and Massachusetts,
Arizona.
Arizona, exactly. That are participating. And that is really, really neat. This is nothing new, Rob. People have been doing this since the dawn of man or the dawn of Zoom. Okay, great. I just got to the party. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm here, and now we're really trying to engage people. And I think for an inexpensive cost to participate, it's really neat. And the big kicker is that it's a business to business philosophy. I'm not necessarily the retail or consumer minded. So although they're fine professions,
yeah,
your electricians and your plumbers and your residential realtors are fine, fantastic humans making gobs of money. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in that for networking and diners. I'm interested in the business to business folks. So that when I ask you who you need to meet, you will give me a person's name or a vertical title of a company where you need to get in.
And I think that's where I could spend a little time personally and think about, okay, I need to get into, because it's really important to the riches are in the niches, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretty cool.
What I do with the Pirate Syndicate and help people live stream and get their voice out there and create content is fairly universal. It can be. However, I think I would be better served to find an industry that is really starving for that support and that assistance, and then go in there and master this process for them and benefit them in a way that exceeds all expectations, right? So that's great advice. That's great feedback, Rob. I really appreciate the fact that we had an opportunity to connect. I'm really appreciative that you're here, by the way.
Thank you. It's good to see you. Yeah, absolutely.
And so what do we want to do next in the next 6 to 8 months? Business to business is rather unique. Any specific tips or strategies you use on LinkedIn to identify individuals, or just some day-to-day real world feedback? Is there anything that we can bring to the table?
And I didn't know where we were going to take LinkedIn, because it can be such a broad topic.
Sure.
I've learned from the best, like Mark Halpert out there. And what I suggest to people, and suggestion really equals mandate, when we're talking about connecting on LinkedIn, it's a minimum requirement that when you're going to reach out to another contact whom you don't know or you may know and you were asked or introduced or referred to, always make sure that you send a personal note with that invitation on LinkedIn. Under no circumstances should anyone ever just click the connect button. I never endorse that whatsoever because it's just so, quite frankly, cheesy, and it's simple for you. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about doing the work and making the effort. And a simple note of 300 characters is not going to stretch you out.
No.
Just saying, Susan, Russ suggested that you and I connect with each other. The reason why is this, that, and the other. Let's find a way to Zoom together or what have you.
Yeah.
Send it off. I don't believe in cold calling. I don't believe in sending mass LinkedIn messages. I don't believe in those things. Networking equals connecting. Well, we may not always be a connection for each other. Business to business talks about identifying those different verticals or those titles of those businesses. Who do you need to meet? Well, I need to meet the chief marketing officer of Verizon Wireless, as an example. Those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
That I find more focused.
Yeah. Hyatt Ives said, Rob, I'm calling you post-show to talk about synergy for our programs. Hyatt, by the way, would be a great connection because he's been involved and engaged in a lot of expos and events and bringing a lot more conversations to the table. And he's been a professional networker for years, and it would probably be beneficial for you guys to talk. So without having an introduction, I can provide an introduction and let you guys know that that's a good, I think that would be a good combination. And Hyatt's actually scheduled to be on the show as well. So I've known Hyatt for years from Houston. So it would be great to have a conversation, I think.
Terrific.
Then Gabriel's here. Gabriel, good morning, gentlemen and fellow pirates. Petros, awesomeness, slap tags. Sherry, identify your target avatar, as Craig Waslick says. Fantastic. That's a great idea. And take time to read the profile. Don't ask them to fill out a book report to connect. Say no to unsolicited homework. I think that's great advice. Any thoughts on that, Rob?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So part of my method when you are going to go now, after you've identified that contact, you've connected, and you set up a separate Zoom call or what have you, I always encourage my clients to do the research. Go to their LinkedIn profile and find 3 different things about them that you thought was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use an acronym called FORM. And I have people form the individual and ask them good questions. You're not going to just show up to some kind of connection meeting without having done some cursory research about them, because it shows respect. This is about professional respect. Stop with the, I just thought we would connect because we've got some great, people in our network.
There's 42 people were connected. Mutual connections is not a good reason. One of my favorite tools, and I got to give a shout out to Ruben and the team over at Dub, is Dub, because I shoot a lot of personalized videos and I share them out with people that I've just that have reached out or I've connected with or something. We found a reason to make a connection, and I'll shoot a quick video, and a lot of times I'll send it out, and that has made the difference in a lot of experiences for people in the relationship and removing the roadblocks of how we connect. And LinkedIn is great because from a phone, you can leave a voice message, and a lot of people still don't use that. You can actually record a video just native in LinkedIn as well. And there's a lot of ways to do the research, do the homework, ask the good questions, and make sure that you're engaging in a way that invites a conversation to take place. And I think these are all great advice. Rob, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate you and everything you're doing in the community. And I encourage people to go to robthomasusa.com. I can't believe you got that domain. It's
Well, so I don't have the robthomas.com for obvious reasons, the single box 20 there. And I had CT for a while, and then I got a couple clients outside of Connecticut, so I went USA. And so now my good friend Paul, who helps me through all these trials and tribulations, as well as my good friend Ramon, are helping me discover and get ready for Rob Thomas International.
Oh, fantastic.
That's exciting.
That is exciting. Well, I love the pirate community. I love the interaction we have. We're not here to, shout and shine and do anything beyond have a great community of people that are willing to put a little kindness in the world. Kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And you have to understand that this is the way that we can improve the world around us and make things a little better. And making those connections and making those introductions and helping people out will never be frowned upon. It's like, any last words of wisdom you want to share with the community, Rob?
No, I'm very grateful and thankful that you were able to have me as part of the pirate community. I'm wondering if do I get a hat? Do I get a pirate hat? Am I a pirate now? Is there a separate fee for
you
that?
are officially a pirate.
What happens now? I'm going to need a pirate hat, I think.
You probably receive some connection requests or some introductions or phone calls or something like that.
Okay.
Might even get some business out of it. Who knows?
All right.
I appreciate you and thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you,
everyone in the pirate community. And like I said, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And you enjoy the day. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.